Today on the channel, guys, the most fun I've probably ever had with a tiny whoop. Guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm going to give you an unbiased review of this little guy right here. This is the Air65 Champion edition, super lightweight. It is like race weight, but it does outstanding racing indoors. It'll do freestyle outside, and it seems like I keep getting faster and faster little whoops in the mail. And today in this flight test, I'm going to use my batteries that, I've had for a while. They're the blue edition ones. They are 1S 300 milliamp batteries with the BT 2.0 connector on there from BetaFpv. And we're rocking some new motors on this one that scream outside. And I keep saying this, they keep getting faster and faster. This one, when you see the video, you'll know that this is the fastest I've ever gone in this backyard, and it's kind of addicting. I just keep flying battery after battery after battery. So that's what's up with this one. And BetaFpv, they've kind of done it again. It's a 2 thumbs up quad right out of the gate. I don't even have to get to the end of this review. To be totally honest, if you buy one of these Champion Edition ones, it may be too fast for you, but you're still going to like it, and you're going to grow into it. So it will make you a better pilot. Let's go ahead and do a flight test quickly indoors. And then all the fun that I had was out here in the backyard with this guy. It freaking rocks. Here we go. All right, guys, let's get into it. Welcome back from the flight test. What's the big difference? If you're watching my channel and you're paying attention to the reviews that are coming out this month, we've had a lot of whoops, and we've had a lot of whoops from Newbie Drone. And this week, I got this little drone in the mail from BetaFpv, and it seems that when I took it out of the box, and I've seen other people with it already, when I took this out of the box, I almost thought it was the Newbie Drone Hummingbird RS. Now that's the RS. This is the Air65 Champion Edition. This is a limited edition. It is 17.7 on my scale. The Hummingbird RS is coming in at around 16 grams. It's lighter. However, me as not such a great pilot, I have a little bit better lines with the BetaFpv version. And I'm just telling you my honest truths on the way it feels on the sticks. This one, if you're like a really good racer and you're better than me and you think I suck, buy the RS Hummingbird. This is fast. It's awesome. And if you go to any whoop races around town, or if you do any indoor events this winter or anything like that during whoop season, you'll probably absolutely love this one. For the average guy who wants to kind of like fly inside, maybe do some whoop races, go super blazing fast with this, and be able to fly it in the backyard too. A little freestyle. Like I was ripping around the backyard with this faster than most of the other quads that I've probably reviewed this year. And it's half the size, and no one next door hears it. It's not loud. It's super quiet. And I just wanted, it was one of those quads where I just want to fly battery after battery after battery after battery. You know what I mean? So you've got that feeling when you get a new quad and it flies really good. And so that's what I'm getting with this quad. It has a great feel to it. The tune is great. It has an unbelievably quick, snappy response with the throttle on the high end of the throttle coming back around from those loops. It will split S. It will power loop. It'll do pretty much any freestyle maneuver you want to do without the tumble, which is awesome. Today, there was no wind out there, so I wasn't fighting any wind, so take that with a grain of salt. But I think that the tune is really good on here, and you could crank the VTX up too. So I had it on 100 milliwatt. It seemed to do fine back there. And without further ado, let's just jump into this quad quickly now, and let me show you what's new about it and what's kind of cool about it. Okay, so the Air65 Champion Edition, limited edition on the scale, weighs 17.6 grams. With a 1S 300 milliamp, it's 25.9 grams total takeoff weight. Newbie Drone's Hummingbird RS Edition weighs in at 16.4 grams. With a 1S 300 milliamp, that gets us up to 24.7, making it a little lighter than the Air65 Champion Edition. So let's talk about the quad itself. I mean, we reviewed the Air65 a while back, and what's the big giant difference between this one and the original Air65? Well, this is a brand new flight controller. This is a 5-in-1 F4 flight controller. So a little nicer, and I definitely feel the performance of this one versus the 4-in-1 version of the flight controller for the brushless, the Air65, the original one. This one does have the motors soldered down to the board, as you can see. You can see all the chips on the bottom here. It looks pretty good. And it also has a plug on here for USB-C on the very back right there. You got the battery tray right in the middle. We've got this very similar type of frame on here, but this one is a little bit beefier on the top of the frame for the canopy holding that camera in. That's the CO3 camera. And, I got to say, this is an honest review. So this camera, I would say it's okay. It's not super great. It performs better when it's like a sunny day and looks great outside. It looked okay in the backyard today, but I felt like it seems to be blown out quite a bit. So if you look back at my flight test footage, you'll see it has a really hot whites on it. And I wish that the camera was a little more balanced out in the upper end of the spectrum for the color and the bright whites. So it does have that BT 2.0 connector on here. It works with my older batteries for some reason, and I could not find my lava batteries anywhere, so I had to actually fly my older ones. These have been put through the ringer. You can see they're kind of beat up. They're slightly swollen. It's just about time to just throw these away. And I have a whole ton of lavas somewhere in the shop. But even flying the old crap batteries, I feel like it did great. The flight performance of this thing is crazy fast around the yard. I felt like I was flying lines, and I felt like I had time to react, even with the speed that I have with this quad. And they also have some new propellers on here as well. These are Gemfan, specially made edition. They are 1219 S3B. They are 3-blade props with quite a bit of core in the center. Kind of wide cord. It has that bull nose prop tip on there for these types of prop guards, which most tiny whoops do have. I mean, and I'll pull in the competitor to this quad right next to it. As you can see, like the Hummingbird RS, it has a little lighter canopy design. It looks like a TPU print. It goes down to the back of the flight controller on the back. And you can see there's like a little shroud around this camera around the front. This camera is probably a little better on this one, in my opinion. But this one seems to kind of be in between like the original standard Hummingbird that we showed on the channel. That was kind of the all-around one, the blue one that I showed you. That one I thought was great for people who just kind of getting into whoops. And this one seems like a level up between that one. So this one would probably be more durable in the long run than the Hummingbird RS, just because everything is more wide open here. There's no camera protection for this PCB on the side of this board right there. So if you do hit something hard outside, or you have a little bit of drop of water get on it, that's going to be an issue here. So you can see right here, this camera sits much closer behind, and the PCB on this camera has been shaved down quite a bit side to side right there. So you can see that camera's much smaller. So maybe this PCB being a little bit smaller maybe suffers some image quality with that a little bit, but this is meant to be a racer. And I still felt like I could see where I was going and make a reaction to what was going to happen next. So here are the motors on this quad, and they're upgraded compared to the racing edition that you saw early on the channel and the freestyle version. Both of those have lower kV. The freestyle version, Air65, has 23,000 kV motors. The racing edition has a little higher at 27,000 kV, and the new motor has 30,000 kV. So it also has dual ball bearings on here, which makes it a little smoother, gets us a little longer flight time, and seems to have great high-end power with the high end of the stick and recovery power. So that's kind of cool. I'm not bottoming out as much with this quad. And these are the props that we were flying. These are the same ones that come with the Meteor 6.5. Those are the Gemfan 1219S. It says 2-blade on the pack, which is kind of hilarious, but they are 3-blade. They are the transparent gray ones, and they come with one set in the pack. So one on the quad and one in the pack. So also in the box, you get these bad boys, and these seem to be like nylon screws for the frame. They do seem like this is a great way to lighten everything up instead of making them aluminum or steel. This is gonna kind of save you even more weight on a racing whoop. Here's kind of a little closer look at the 5-in-1 flight controller. The brand new flight controller, it has the dipole coming off of the VTX, and we can crank that VTX all the way up to 400 milliwatt. So, I mean, I don't run 400 milliwatt on my whoops. I run 100 in the backyard, and it seems to do fine. I think if you crank it up to 400, you're just going to be kind of sucking more juice out of that battery quicker. You can also see where the camera plugs into the board there as well with that harness. So if you do blow out this camera, it is replaceable. But again, like I wish that the camera that was maybe a little bit better on the hot side. It seems like the whites are really white, and it doesn't seem to have kind of as good of an image quality as some of the Cadex Ant style cameras that we use on whoops. And again, this canopy holding that camera is kind of held in place by 4 different screws here. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, and it is a little more durable, I guess, than the other RS Hummingbird. and it's a little thicker. It's just a little thicker all the way around, which gives it a little bit extra durability, but also extra weight. So at the end of the day, looking at both of these, it really is hard to tell them apart, but they do each fly pretty differently. The Hummingbird is on the right, and BetaFpv's Air65 Champion Edition's on the left. So, I think at the end of the day, it kind of comes down to like what aesthetic you like better on both of these whoops. I know there's going to be probably some comparison out there. They are different style connectors on these. They are different power systems. This one has a little smaller motors, but it is also a little bit lighter weight. This one is a little beastier, but I felt like, again, I had more control with the BetaFpv version of their Champion Race Edition frame. So I love it, and I actually like it more for the outdoor freestyle capability of it. It's one of those quads that I want to fly more and more batteries of, and I think once you get it out in your backyard and you fly a couple packs and you start to get used to it, that's where you're really gonna like this little quad. So yeah, it's $105. Get your credit card ready and grab one. If you don't get one of these, I'd love to know what whoop you're flying instead of this one because, yeah, well, I thought that the Hummingbird standard version was fun. This one took that fun to like a whole new level. And that's what these companies are trying to do right now. They're just trying to outdo each other. And yeah, there's quite a bit of R&D going into making these little tiny whoops for you guys, and I appreciate that. I think that's pretty cool that we have companies like BetaFpv and Newbie Drone making such fantastic little toys. And yeah, you're going to see more of them. You can check out BetaFpv's link in the video description if you want to grab one. I think you'll freaking love it. I'm going to say 2 thumbs up on this one for this review. Durability wise, check. Performance wise, check. Fun factor, definitely a 5 out of 5. And again, one of the fastest whoops I've flown in the backyard to date. And I really should maybe just do a little more comparison between this one and the Hummingbird RS coming up. Do a kind of a fly off in the backyard at my skill level and just see what happens. See which one I'm actually faster with. But as far as enjoyment, yeah, I'm liking this. But again, thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate you. Please do subscribe for more drone and tiny whoop reviews on the channel and drone news. Take care, boys. I will see you on the next one.